The belief that I'd like to discuss today is smoke cleansing. And I call it smoke cleansing because smudging is used more for ceremonial Indian tradition.
Smoke cleansing? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I just use the word smoke cleansing because a lot of people are sensitive about using the word smudging if you're not of Indian descent. Does that make sense?
Oh, I see. I didn't know that was... Okay. I didn't know that. So we should call it smoke cleansing.
I call it smoke cleansing.
And what is smoke cleansing?
Yeah, so smoke cleansing is using different herbs and things to burn, and the smoke cleanses that thing. So different herbs correspond to different things.
Okay.
Basic example, something you would know, lavender corresponds to peace or calming, right?
I see.
Calms anxiety, right? Okay, so the same thing with bay leaves. Bay leaves could be used for money or protection.
Okay.
Okay, and in this case, white sage is used for cleansing and clearing negativity.
So you're saying, like, when someone's in their house and they say, you know, when I'm in my house, I feel pretty anxious and I have a lot of anxiety. And so you would come over to their house and burn lavender.
Right, but there's also other ways that you could use that lavender to calm that anxiety. But yes, burning lavender, drinking it in your tea, right, putting it in your bath, making a sachet of the buds and leaving that in your pillow at nighttime, that would help as well.
Okay. So how do people contact you when they see an issue with their home? Is that, I guess, what's going on? There's something's going on with their house, and
Right.
how does that work?
So most times people message me on Instagram, or they'll send me an email or a message on Facebook.
And what's the most common reason why someone would contact you, do you think?
They would say they need to cleanse their space of some negative vibes, or the other main reason would be they would want to use the sage in ceremony.
Oh, okay.
Like, say for instance, they were doing some smoke cleansing to bless your home,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
You would use the sage,
Okay.
and then other herbs.
So by smoke cleansing and burning different kinds of herbs, you can have different kinds of effects on the person inside the home.
In the home.
In the home.
The spirit, the aura of it all. Yes.
The aura of the home. Okay. How does that work? How does lighting the incense affect the aura of your home, as you say, or in the person?
So you start with your belief.
You start with your belief.
Yes. So first of all, you understand what the white sage does as far as cleansing and clearing, and your belief that your intention
I see.
for the negativity to be rid of your home.
I see.
The white sage is powerful, spiritually and medicinal, and it can amplify your intentions of having the negativity be removed from yourself, your home, your person, place, thing.
On a scale from 1 to 7, how confident are you that your belief is true? True and real?
1,000%.
All right. That's pretty high.
Yes.
And on a scale from 1 to 7, how important is it for you to believe in true things? Things that are true and real.
Of course. 7, 1,000 still. It's
very high
important for everyone to have a core belief that they feel and that they resonate with, right? And that belief spills over into the actions that you do every day and how you live your life.
Well, you're sort of getting into my next question. Thank you. How do you know your belief is true?
I see it in the world around me. I see it in the signs I receive from Spirit, from the universe, from Mother Nature, from God. You feel it in your body to your core. It's a physical feeling that you can feel.
Okay. I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna ask about talk to you about a thought experiment, and this will really help me understand the nature of your belief. And I'm just trying to formulate it right now in my head.
Go ahead.
Let's say that my job, my work, is to mow people's lawns. That's my job.
Right.
And I tell them that I am a special lawnmower in the sense that if I come over to your house and mow your house will be cleansed, it will improve your aura, and it'll improve the person who lives inside the house's aura as well. Could I make that happen? Is that something that I could do?
Not necessarily mowing the lawn, no.
No. Okay.
But if you think about it like this, during Mass, the Pope swings a golden ball with frankincense and myrrh in his ball, an incense, a resin, right, to bless the space. It's the same thing.
Well, if I was mowing somebody's lawn in front of their house and while I was mowing the lawn, I was thinking about blessing the space, could I mow someone's lawn and still have the same effect as someone who does smoke cleansing, or those are two separate things? I just couldn't do that by like mowing someone's lawn. There's something special that you're doing that I'm not doing.
Yeah, no, you can't mow the lawn. What I'm saying here is you believe in energy. Yes. Everything has an energy. Energy matches vibrations. When you get what you want, the vibration of what you wanted, the energies matched and they came together.
I think I see where you're coming from.
So you're cleansing and you're ridding that negativity, and the smoke is aiding in that. The smoke is sacred. The plant is very highly revered.
Let's suppose Janice is sitting next to you, and Janice has that interesting job where she mows people's lawns, and she really believes that by doing that, she is helping people through energy and she's helping their auras. And
she could probably add mowing the lawn into also physically blessing. You have to say the words, you have to do the work.
How could we show Janice that her belief isn't quite right? That by...
You can't.
Oh, I can't.
No, because people believe what they believe.
So,
you can't... I can tell you my belief, and you can resonate with it and go with it or not.
So if Janice tells me her belief about mowing the lawn, and you say your belief about smoke cleansing, and if I'm just listening to you discuss, I couldn't... You're saying that I couldn't figure out what's true and real by hearing you two talk about your beliefs? And how would I find out? Like,
you would hear what was true from each of us during conversation, what we believe. That didn't necessarily mean it's not true. I can't tell you that Jesus Christ wasn't a real person, but I can't prove it. But people believe him. people believe in him so hardcore that they would live and die and breathe for him, correct? They do things in his name, right?
Sure.
It's the same exact thing.
Okay.
I believe that the smoke is going to cleanse my home with my intention, the spiritual, powerful plant, that it has its powerful properties, is the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Amplifies my intention to cleanse the home of all negativity, of all dross.
Yeah. I'm trying to see where you're coming from. If, for example, if Janice sets that intention, her intention, and she believes it to be true, that by doing that, she's going to be helping.
She should probably mow the lawn and burn sage at the same time. She should probably make a ritual of the grass cutting. Then you would be able to say it's the same. But if she's just mowing the lawn, then Mark is just mowing the lawn.
What if, and you know how strongly she feels about mowing the lawn, and it's kind of a weird example. Now I'm thinking about it.
Really
It only
is.
came to me, but what if she told you that, you can practice smoke cleansing, but if you really want to help people, you should mow people's lawns in front of their house, and you'll be helping their house that way, and you'll be helping them that way. And as strongly as you feel that mowing the lawn isn't the key ingredient, she says it is. Where are we left there, do you think?
We're left letting Janice believe what she believes,
Are both true?
To the individual. And that's what the belief is. That's what a belief is. A belief may not be true or false in the world to any one other person, but to you, that's the belief. I believe if I take Tylenol, it's going to take away my headache. And it takes away my headache, right? But there are times when you take Tylenol and it doesn't take away your headache. But you believe it anyway, so you know you're going to take it the next time you have a headache. It's about the belief. What do you believe? If that's what Janice believes, who am I to tell her her belief is not true?
By believing in something, does that make it true?
By believing in something, anything, no matter what it is, once again, we come back to energy and vibration and intention.
Okay.
Intention and energies match. When they come together, belief and faith is probably the two things that help bring it together.
And by faith, we mean, what does faith mean?
Your belief that things are, faith in the situation, not faith in, I'm not talking about a religious aspect.
Yeah.
I mean your faith and your hope and your belief in whatever it is to come to pass that you're asking for or that you're reaching for.
And thanks for hanging in there with me on this. Can you believe in things that are not true? Like strongly believe in something that's not true and real?
People do every day.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that's the case with your belief, but if you wanted to know that if your belief was true or if your belief was not true, how would you go about finding that out, do you think?
Well, the fact that my ancestors have practiced this belief since long before these cameras, this population, this civilization, that's one reason how I know it's true.
Because of how long it was practiced, you're saying?
Not just because of how long it's practiced, but because of the outcomes of the practice. That it was able to be passed down, that it still works. You have to do the work in order to see results in anything. Mm-hmm.
If in our lawn mowing example of Janice's parents mowed lawns to help people, and their parents did it, would we feel more confident about her belief, do you think?
I'm not necessarily sure about that because really the whole comparison of burning the sage to mowing the lawn really,
It's something that's not setting right with you about that. But
because
I want to know.
it
I really
doesn't
want
really
to
level up, so it's not really a good comparison.
tell me what it is, because I really want to know. Like, what is
I
it
don't
doesn't
know.
seem right to you?
Comparing my spiritual belief to
And I
mowing
don't
the
mean to be
lawn.
denigrating
Oh, no,
your.
no,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no,
Sure,
no, no,
sure.
I'm not taking it that way.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just saying that comparing my spiritual belief to something as simple as mowing the lawn doesn't really compare, because there's an energy that I prepare, that I put into the burning of the sage. It is a spiritual practice that I use to talk with my ancestors,
Yeah.
to cleanse my home. If I'm having a bad day at work, I'll come home and I'll burn sage, and I'll play the music that I like, and I might journal or get my feelings out or dance. There are many ways to relieve this negative energy, and burning the sage is one way, but the first way is the verbiage. You have to speak it, you have to believe.
I think you're telling me that even if Janice believed it and it really spoke to her, she really strongly believed the belief, that it still wouldn't be on the same level as your belief. I think you're telling me.
Yeah.
How do we know that? How could we? I really, like, if Janice's belief is true and real, I'd like to believe that. And if your belief is true and real, I'd like to believe that. I like to believe just something that's true. And you believe what you believe at 1,000%. So you seem to have access to some knowledge, information that I
I
can't
do.
get access to. I really want to see how you get there.
Well, you have to do the shadow work.
The what?
The shadow work.
Shadow work.
Yeah, you have to dig into yourself and your ancestors and find out where you come from. And that's how you formulate whatever type of belief, as far as
And if Janice came
a
to that,
spiritual way.
if Janice came to that belief exactly in that way, would we then say that both beliefs are equally true?
I would say that Janice's culture does one thing and my culture does something else.
Yeah. Are they both? Do you think they're both true and real? Like they reflect how the world?
Do you think that Baptists and Christians are true?
Are you asking me if I believe that?
Do you, on the level of truth, do you think that they're true?
In the sense of like,
What you're explaining to me about sage and mowing the lawn?
that's an interesting question. I believe that both beliefs have the same difficulty. I think that as those two beliefs, I put on the same par as your belief and Janice's belief, in the sense that if one is true and one's not true, I'm not sure how we could find that out. How we could figure it out.
You probably have to ask God, wouldn't you?
So we have to ask God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I ask God and I don't hear a response, or then what should I do at that point, do you think?
I couldn't even tell you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You just seem to really know something really strongly. And I'm just trying to get there.
Our connection with the planet, period, as humans, where we grow, we have a connection to the earth.
Yeah.
To the plants. They give off one thing and we give off another thing, and we exchange. That gives us air to breathe for both of us. There's an exchange between all of us in nature. And we can use nature to help bring forth the things that we want. My ancestors didn't pray to Jesus that their crops would not be ruined during whatever seasonal thing might have been happening way back all in those years, they prayed to the god. They prayed to their earth. They prayed to the spirits, their ancestors. Does that make sense? What I'm saying to you?
I think so.
Okay, so in that retrospect, they used the earth to get what they want. They used the animals to get skins and feed them, but they also prayed for them as they killed them. It wasn't a violent act, it was an exchange, right? They also planted, right? They planted trees and herbs and things to give life as they were taken away from life when they would harvest. Does that make sense? It's an exchange. So the plant gives a magical, potent, powerful smoke. Its properties are the cleansing and clearing that I'm talking about.
Well, maybe I guess maybe I'm getting, this might be confusing me. I think maybe if you had to come up with one primary belief of why you believe the belief, like it was the most important reason, of why you believe the belief, in the sense if that reason wasn't available to you, it'd be more difficult for you to believe that belief. What would that reason be, do you think? If you had to pick out one, it seems like you have a lot of reasons for the belief, but if you had to pick out one that was the most important, that if that reason wasn't available to you, for whatever reason, you'd be maybe a little bit less confident in the belief. Do you have that reason?
I really don't, but I will say this.
Are you saying that you don't have... You don't... Okay, go ahead.
My belief has been passed down in my family and for generations.
Is that the primary reason you think for the belief?
It's not the primary because I didn't grow up in that belief. I came upon it and found out more history into my family that was not available to me once I began to research. And it corresponded with the things that were happening in my life spiritually. And that's how I know I'm on the right path. It is a path to peace, a path to enlightenment, a path to prosperity.
Okay. I'm trying to get there, and thanks for helping me. I do appreciate it. Thanks for helping me understand. I'm so confused because I'm trying to really understand how like it doesn't have to be even just one, but maybe like the two primary reasons. I mean, like it seems like you have a really strong belief, and typically when I'm thinking someone has a strong belief,
I know it works.
would point to a reason.
The main reason is it works.
So that's the main reason that it works.
It works.
Okay.
It works. When I'm upset, I'm able to refocus my energy into positive things.
Yeah.
Using words, using music, using nature.
So I think I see where you're coming from now. Thank you. That when you employ the belief, other people seem to have improvement in whatever they need improvement in, and you've noticed that improvement in yourself or improvement in other people. And that seems to be the primary reason why you have the belief that it's helpful to people.
It is a documented improvement, yes.
And by documented, what do you mean?
People all over the world talk about their spiritual belief in smoke cleansing and crystals and astrology and using all of these things together. It's not just a singular act. They all go in conjunction.
Let's say you continue to do smoke cleansing and you do it, and you go to a house, and then you go to the next house, and you go to the next house, and let's say you go to 100 houses in a row, and the people that you're doing it for whatever reason, they tell you that whatever smoke cleansing possibly is supposed to do, it's not doing for them, and you go to 100 houses in a row, would you then reduce your confidence level in the belief, or would you still have the belief at that same level, do you think?
No, I still have the belief at the same level. If it didn't work, then there must have been something more powerful going on than I could handle.
So you're telling me that the primary reason you have the belief is that it helps people, but if it didn't help people, you'd still have the belief. So sometimes when people tell me that, it makes me think that that might not be the primary reason.
Does God answer every prayer that you pray for?
I'm not.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. I don't think he does. I don't think that he does for anyone. So I don't know. The way you were saying that, yeah.
So when people improve, it shows you the belief is true. And if people don't improve, the belief is true.
The belief is in the stars and the moon and the wind. You can see it. It's a physical thing. I don't have to prove that it's true. It's in the signs. It's in the signs. And you see them, but you just may not recognize.
If your belief happened to not be true, and I'm not saying that's the case, I'm not the arbiter of truth, but if it happened to not be, how would you go about, or could you show yourself that?
No, because that would be impossible.
So you couldn't show yourself the belief was not true if it wasn't true, and nobody else could show you the belief it wasn't true if it wasn't.
It would be impossible for it to not be true. So I could not answer that question.
It'd be impossible for the belief not to be true.
It's absolutely impossible. It's physically, mathematically, how else can you prove it? Scientifically, if you research, you can see scientifically that sage cleanses the air around you. So,
but even if it didn't show it scientifically, it doesn't seem that would matter to you because you still believe the belief.
That's correct.
Yeah. What if Janice said that she believes that mowing people's lawns in front of their houses helps their houses and helps the people inside their houses?
It does. It gives them a well-manicured lawn. It does help them. It gives them a happy attitude. And the belief that...
But what if she says that by doing that, it helps every bit as much as what you do, and there's nothing anybody could do to tell her otherwise?
Then that's it. We go back to the original statement when you asked me the comparison the first time. Yeah. I can't tell her what to believe. If she strongly believes that it's going to work, then
it works.
You never know. Have you tried it?
I have not tried it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. People believe things so strongly that they will do things. And things happen. Things happen. And again, that comes into energy and intention coming together. It's a vibration. When the vibrations match, things happen. Period.
It's interesting because I think, sometimes I do talk with people like yourself who tell me that it's impossible for their belief to be incorrect. It's just virtually impossible.
I believe that.
Yeah, and sometimes
I know I'm not the only one. I believe that.
Right. Sometimes two people believe that, and I'm just, sometimes that surprises me a bit in the sense that if a belief can't be shown to be incorrect, if it's incorrect, and you can't show yourself that, and no one else could show you that, it seems that you would go on, or someone would go on having a belief forever, even if it's incorrect, because nothing could ever show them otherwise.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you believe that we walked on the moon?
Yes.
Why?
I think that there is very good evidence that there is independent, objective evidence, regardless of what I believe about it, that shows that it's true.
Right. So because you believe what someone else told you, what you read, their evidence, that's the foundation of your belief, right? And nobody can tell you different.
Yes, they can.
They can?
Yes.
Oh.
I am willing. I do believe that pretty strongly. I do, that we walked on the moon. But I'm willing to revise that belief. If there is a preponderance of evidence,
There's a lot of evidence that we didn't walk on the moon.
if there with an abundance of evidence that showed to the contrary, I would be willing to revise my belief.
Your belief. Right.
Would you be willing to revise your belief if there was an abundance of information to the contrary about your belief?
I would be willing to listen to the information because I believe in keeping an open mind about everything. But again, I doubt that it would change my mind about my spiritual belief because I know God is real. I know my spirit. I know my ancestors are protecting me and looking over me and lighting my path. So they are a part of that. So it's impossible. When I pass on, I'll be an ancestor and I'll be doing the same thing. So, yeah.
Not with this belief, but have you ever believed in something to your bones so strongly, like really, really
And
believed
found out
something?
that it wasn't true?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
How did you find out that it wasn't true when it wasn't true?
Research.
Okay. So research was able to show you that that belief wasn't true, but in this case, research would not do that for this belief, right?
Again, I would listen to the research because I have an open mind. But as I stand right now, I don't see that there would be a research that would prove to me that the spirit that I know and my ancestors are not real and that they didn't use sage to cleanse and clear negativity, among other things, in ritual, in ceremony, not just my ancestors, probably your ancestors, just to let you know, that in every what do I want to say? I want to say there are our Asian ancestors, our Indian ancestors, our Spanish ancestors. Does that make that's what I'm trying to say? People all over our planet, they were not using technology or medicine. They used the plants and herbs in the world to take care of their issues.
Yeah,
right?
I see where you're coming from.
They would go outside and make a poultice and put it on your arm to heal your burn or your abrasion.
Yeah.
They would go outside and pluck those same herbs and use them to make a tea. You can also take those same herbs and burn them, and the smoke plus your intention can help achieve desired effects.
So I find this a fascinating conversation. I really do. I really find this really interesting when I talk with somebody who has a really super strong belief like you do. And the reason, or one of the main reasons why I do this show, this podcast, is that, and tell me what you think about this, is that we seem to live in a time where, and maybe it hasn't been different in other times, but this is the only time I live in, so I notice it more.
Right.
But we seem to live in a time where we, as a society, seem to have really strong beliefs, and these beliefs are almost opposite, opposing beliefs. For example, half the country believes, for example, vaccines work and they are safe, and the other half of the country believes that vaccines are dangerous and will kill you. And I would imagine you could find both people on each side that believe their belief really, really strongly, and you couldn't tell them otherwise.
Right.
And that concerns me because
People from different cultures believe different things.
but does that make it true? For example,
Japanese people have a whole 100% different culture and belief system than we do.
So
Does that make them not true?
well, it could. The way I'm thinking about it, their belief system could be true, or it might not be true. And if it's true, I'd want to know it. And if it's not true, wouldn't want to know it. And I would like to have some sort of test, some sort of way to know where I should align my beliefs.
Well, what about the fact that there are so many different cultures and we all believe something different? Does that make all of us?
I'm wondering if the number of people that believe in something has a relationship to whether that thing is true. I'm not sure that it does.
I don't think it does. I think that it has a lot to do with many other things besides the fact of its truth. And the truth is really introspect. Like, it really depends on the person who's receiving that information. You may think it's true. You may not.
Yeah.
You know?
So you see this box of Mentos.
Right.
Let's say that there is either an even or odd number of Mentos in this box.
Right.
I don't know the truth. I presume you don't know the truth. But could we say that there is a truth there that I might not know it, you might not know it, the person walking down the street might not know it, but there is a truth there that doesn't matter what I believe about it, it's just true?
I don't quite understand what you're saying.
Well, I guess when I'm talking about truth, and tell me what you think, I think I'm seeing truth as something that is real, and it doesn't matter what I believe about it.
It's real. What is real? Is time real?
Well, when I say is real, maybe what I'm saying is that it doesn't matter what I think about it, and it doesn't matter it doesn't require my belief in it. That if it's objectively true, it's just objectively real and true.
That's correct. For anything, for anyone. It doesn't matter if you believe or not.
It doesn't matter if I believe it or not.
True.
It's just like if you didn't believe for some reason, if you didn't believe in smoke cleansing, it'd still be true.
Correct.
That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, exactly.
Well, there are many ways so many ways that these things could be true. Also, my grandma used to tell me there's more than one way to skin a rabbit. We can't necessarily say that Janice's practice is not true just because it's not visually what I see comparison to my spiritual belief. If that's her spiritual belief and that's where she came from in her culture and her grandma passed it down to her and her grandma's grandma, there's nothing that I could do about that. It is true to Janice. And it doesn't have to be true to anyone else. If she believes that, then she believes that.
So I think
she's probably going to make it work, too.
I think we're talking about two things. Because I think when Janice says, when we're thinking it's true to Janice, the way I hear that is that it's just Janice's opinion. Or Janice's...
No. That may be Janice's truth. How do we know that it didn't work? How do we know that Janice didn't pray over the lawn and when she mowed it, it got better for these people?
So if Janice's truth is that there's an even number of Mentos in this box.
What if it's odd?
And your truth is that there's an odd number of Mentos in this box.
Count the Mentos.
And then we'll find a truth.
We'd find a mathematical answer.
An objective truth that doesn't matter what you believe about it.
Right.
It's just true.
Because of math, correct. Mm-hmm.
So if one person believes it's even, one person believes it's odd, it seems like not both beliefs can be true. Could we say that possibly about
the box of Mentos? Yeah,
How
but
is
you
the
can't
box?
really compare that to what I'm saying. I understand what you're getting at. You're trying to compare. I can't
Why
count
can't we?
spirits between me and Janice.
We can't compare the counting the Mentos with
No,
spirits, or
no,
why can't we?
no.
Help me out. Maybe that'll help me. Why can't we compare
I
them?
don't know why you can't compare. It just doesn't compare. Can you compare Christianity and Buddhism?
I think.
All you can do is state facts of what each religion is about, or their principles,
Are you
right?
saying that?
But you can't count it. How can you count it?
Are you saying that these, to get an answer, we're looking for a fact?
You got a mathematical fact for that question. That's why I'm saying
Are
it
we
doesn't
not
really
dealing in
relate.
facts when we're talking about whether Janice's belief is true or whether your belief is true?
See, that's the thing. I've never experienced Janice's belief, but for my belief, it is fact. I have done things. I have been in ritual. I know that things work.
How can we have our own facts? I'm really trying to understand. Like, how can we have, if it's my own personal fact that the
It doesn't
moon,
have to be your fact. It again, if it's true, it's true.
right?
Right. So my spirit aligns with the planet, with the universe. Do you understand? We're connected.
I'm trying. What's the Tell me this. What's the difference between a personal truth and an objective truth that we share?
Well, for your example, the only one I could say is math. Again, you can't apply math to what we're talking about here.
Okay. So, are you telling me that we're believing in something that we don't have evidence for that thing being true? We do have evidence.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay.
There's evidence. You can read any book. You can speak to any elder. They will give you evidence if that's what you're looking for.
Let me ask you this. If your belief wasn't true, would you want to know it?
If my belief wasn't true, I would want to know it.
Yeah. That's interesting, I think. Because it seems...
Most people believe what they're told, right?
Are they?
Do you believe that the sky is blue?
I do believe the sky is blue.
Because you were taught that that was that color, correct?
Do
you believe that we live in a globe?
You mean the Earth is round? Mm-hmm. I believe that the Earth is round. I do. And I think that there's independent, objective evidence.
Because but originally, you were taught that the Earth was round. That is what your schools and your parents and your teachers...
And I'm also saying that I do believe the Earth is round, and I do believe that I know this some from personal experience, but I think I know it more from as an objective thing, in the sense that it doesn't matter what I've experienced. It's just there's something independently showing me that's true. Yeah. And I'm saying that I'm willing to revise my belief. I'm willing to believe that the Earth is flat if there's data to come along to suggest that the Earth is flat.
Right.
Because I really want to believe in true things.
Period.
Yeah.
Right. That makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Again, when you go back to the original, every person has that need to fulfill, that they want to believe in something.
Yeah.
It's a innate thing that we search for subconsciously, even, of things to believe in, period. And those beliefs are what shape our culture and our societies. People believe that a black cat crossing your path is going to give you bad luck, and they will cross the street to not cross that black cat. And then when something bad happens afterwards, when that cat crossed their path, they know that's why. And it's the belief. Do you understand? The belief
I think
is what
so.
makes it true.
I think I see where you're coming from. And I guess where I'm left, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I think what concerns me, about people who have, not people, what concerns me about beliefs that are believed so strongly is that what if somebody had your exact belief, that by smoke cleansing, you're helping people and you're doing, and they really try to do good in the world, which I think you are. I think you're trying to help people. That's
I do.
is right.
I do help people.
And what concerns me is that if someone had your exact belief, except for one thing, they wanted to harm people. It seems that if they believed it as strongly as you believe it, and there's no one that could tell them otherwise, that we could get ourselves into a heaping mess.
That's what anybody. Ted Bundy believed what he believed and he killed people. People do awful things every day, and that has nothing to do with whether or not the belief didn't help them. And I'm still trying to get at a point where I understand totally what you mean or what you're comparing, but
if someone used your belief for ill, that they
So,
really
first of
wanted you,
all-
but they believed it, and you
Right.
couldn't talk them out of it. And
right.
you
Well, let
you
me
might give
tell
them a
you,
reason.
People are going to do that regardless. That doesn't matter about believing. Our next door neighbor can be wanting to do something to cause harm to someone, and it doesn't matter if they have my belief or not. That has nothing. That's a whole. Oh, sorry. That's a whole other thing, because wanting to harm someone is there's something in your head that's not going along with everyone else, because everyone else is not there. We're not trying to harm people.
But we're
There's
saying
definitely,
but that's why they
there's
believe it.
definitely,
They're saying
our
that.
number one belief is no harm come to none.
Yeah.
Period.
But they're telling
anything that I'm doing is to.
I hear you.
Right.
No, I get it.
So people do things to harm people all the time. That can't compare. You can't say, but they have the same belief I do. I cannot tell you how many serial killers are Baptist or Christian or thought they were.
I guess what I'm saying is that when you ask them,
Yeah.
ask that person, they say, why are you you ask, why are you harming other people? And you say, because I have this belief, the belief that you have, except one thing, this belief tells me to harm people.
Yeah.
It is my belief.
It can't.
You can't tell me otherwise.
Right.
I'm right.
Right.
There's no way you can tell me otherwise.
But that doesn't work.
And they say to you, your belief doesn't...
Someone who believes my belief would never say that.
And they say the exact same thing about your belief. Exact same thing.
They can't, because what we
and
do...
they say that you can't.
What we do is a peace and light and love thing. That's... Harming is not peace, love, and light.
But they say the exact same thing.
You can't say that you're going to harm someone and give them peace, light, and love in the same sentence.
I understand what you're saying. But they say you can't use your belief and get to a positive place. You have to use your belief, and you can only go to a negative place. And that's what they believe.
Okay, well, people killed because of Christ. There you go.
And
that made Christ real?
What I'm saying, I think, is that for the same reasons you believe your belief, it seems like, or let me put it this way, regardless of reasons, it seems that you have your belief, and we could say, I'm thinking, regardless of reasons, a person could have the opposite of your belief, because it seems like reasons don't matter in this case.
There is no opposite of my belief. That what I believe in corresponds to everything in the world, whether you know it or not. Our bodies and our lymphatic systems are exact correlations with the rivers and the seas of the way it cleanses the earth, the same way it cleanses our body. Our bodies are 70% more of water. The moon affects the tide. The moon affects our bodies. The sun affects our bodies. We need vitamin D to live. So does the plants. It's all connected. It's all connected. You cannot say, I want to smoke cleanse to hurt someone. They don't go together. You wouldn't do it. You would use something else. You would do something else. And what that something else is, I don't know. But you would never smoke cleanse to harm someone.
I know where you're coming from. I do. And I'm really trying to, and I know I'm not doing a good job. It's me.
No, it's good. I'm with you. I'm with you. I like the devil's advocate thing here.
Is that if somebody says you can't use smoke cleansing to help people, and
there are people that say that,
and you can only use smoke cleansing to harm people, and I'm not saying that I'm saying that. I'm just picking the opposite of your belief.
Right.
And if there is not a reason for the belief, in the sense that the belief, if the reason changed, the belief would change, and if there's nothing that anyone could do to tell you otherwise, that both people will go on living their lives believing in these opposite beliefs, and there's nothing we can do about it.
That's true.
It makes me sad.
Unfortunately, there are children that still believe in Santa Claus. Do you believe in Santa Claus?
I don't.
Oh, see what I mean?
Yeah.
But the fact that people believe in him so strongly, they leave in Norway, I think it is, they leave carrots in the shoes at the door for the horse that brings Santa in.
But it seems like at some point, I mean, I don't know how
It all
other
goes
countries,
back to culture.
But in this country, I would say most people, it wouldn't be a stretch, over time, stop believing in Santa Claus.
Right.
And their belief was able to be shown to be incorrect.
Because he really didn't come down the chimney. Correct. But do you feel that same way about your religion?
Do I feel what?
That over time you've grown out of it because you've seen physically that the belief you had as a young child is not real.
That's true. I do have that, yeah. I do. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that?
That's good. That's good. I mean, I definitely believed in Santa Claus when I was a little girl. And I probably was about 6 or 7, right when I was having my earliest memories to know that it wasn't. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But if you had a belief in Santa Claus and nobody could show you otherwise that belief was incorrect, you'd still believe in Santa Claus.
Probably. As a child. But once I become an adult and I'm able to rationalize and research and ponder and understand and ask questions.
But it seems with using that method for that belief, if using that method for your belief, you couldn't not believe it if it wasn't true. But using that method for that belief, you could use that method and find out that it wasn't true if it's not true.
And that's because we're talking about a man coming down a chimney one night a year. So,
and you don't think other people believe your belief?
Physically, yeah.
You don't think other people believe your belief, like you believe in Santa? You don't think other people believe your belief in that way?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I'm not saying it's that way.
No, I'm sure. Right. But it's just, the thing is that we are spiritual beings living in this earth, in this flesh, okay? When we pass away, our spirit moves on to another plane. That is what I believe, okay? If you were to show me, how could you show me? But if you were to show me that once I left consciousness, there would be nothing left at all, then what choice would I have to believe something that, or a piece of evidence that you've given me, right? So I do money rituals on certain days of the week, certain times of the day, certain phases of the moon, and I get money. And I know it works. And I've done it. And I use the sage. And I use other herbs, not just sage. But I also pray. I also use music. Again, it is a vibration. It's the energy. When the energies match and they come together, you get what you want. So it's not the sage individually that's doing the thing. The sage amplifies what I want.